All right, we're going to stand up for humanity today. What a great weekend, yes? So excited about it. I'm going to get emotional this weekend. A lot of emotional things happened for me this weekend. How about for you? Was it just kind of like scientific, or did you get touched? Did you get touched, yes or no? Yeah, very good. Listen, we need to stand up for humanity. It is a time where we are under assault. Our families are under assault. Children are under assault. We are winning, which is why we're under assault. I often wonder how many of you think about the things that are happening in the world, and you say, okay, well, come on, how come nobody likes us? I mean, we're doing so many good things, and, how come they're mad at us, and how come they want to take our rights away from us? And, we wonder, is it because we're bad? Is it because we're wrong? And it's not because we're bad or we're wrong. It's because our ideas question the status quo. And it's because we're winning. And the more we're winning, the louder they're going to get. And so I strongly suggest that we keep the pedal to the metal, because it is our time. I've been doing this a long time. I feel like a kid in a candy store. There's something about time. I'm seeing some of my young students here in the front, and I remember when I was just getting started in school, that principle number 6 that you'll learn in school, there is no process that does not require time. When I was young in school, I hated that principle. Seriously, it drove me crazy. But today, because of the wisdom that comes with time and work, Barbara and I were talking about this earlier, time is on our side if we stay true. And I got to spend time with so many of my friends this weekend that have just stayed true over time. People like Barbara with NVIC, people like Dr. Riekman, who has stayed true over time, and Dr. Ribley, and just so many of my friends that have just stayed true over time. And there's something amazing that happens if you stay committed with passion and you never go away. And you stay committed, and you stay on your task, and you stay on mission, and you stay on point, and you never go away. And you stop chasing cool. There are so many, for you younger people in this game, and even for those of you that are seeing all this technology and it's new to you, I'm telling you, don't be a cool chaser. Cool today, gone tomorrow. Stay true. What we have, Dr. Riekman was talking about it at lunch. He said, you know what, I'm here for chiropractic, not just Life University, I'm here for chiropractic and what it brings to the people. And when you stay true over time, you will be enduring, and we will outlast any political insanity and change that happens, even if temporarily it's not the right thing. We will fight through it, and we will move through it, because we do live in a democracy. We are the US of A, the United States of America, not the USS of A, the United Socialistic States of America. That is not us. And we are a democracy, and people have a vote, and as long as we have a vote, and we have the ability to take a stand for our children, we will fight for our children to do what's right in this world. Somebody asked me earlier, Dr. Plasker, what is it? How do you think? What do you think about? And many of you remember this poem that I wrote. This is not the entire poem. It's a segment of this poem. And it goes like this. It says, imagine healthy people living in this world, expressing their full potential, every boy and girl. Imagine all the people subluxation-free. Imagine people healing from all the ills of man, removing interference, the chiropractic plan. Imagine all the people subluxation-free. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, lifetime care for everyone. People ask... Thank you. People ask me, Plasker, what do you think about it? How do you think? And not to be small-minded or narrow-minded, but this is what I think about all the time. I think about a world, a planet where people are living the chiropractic lifestyle, living subluxation-free. I want to live in that kind of world. I imagine, if you really want to know, I imagine living in a world where people are lining up for chiropractic care the way they used to line up for shots and drugs. That's the world that I want to live in. People, and it's independent of personality. That it doesn't matter what your personality is, it doesn't matter what your technique is. How many of you know the saying, chiropractic first, drugs second, surgery last? How many of you have heard that expression? How many of you agree with that? Raise your hand if you agree with that. Okay, so watch, you ready? I completely disagree with that. See, I think it should be chiropractic first, chiropractic second, different technique, or chiropractor if necessary. Chiropractic third, different technique, chiropractor if necessary. Chiropractic fourth with drugs when necessary. Chiropractic fifth with surgery then when necessary. See, that's the way that it should be. If the body is self-healing, if it is self-regulating, if interference causes dysfunction, dis-ease, disharmony, and imbalance in the body, then it is also true that if you remove that interference, that the body will heal itself or have the best chance to heal itself and function at its highest level for a lifetime. And so many things that we need to do differently and change, we're going to talk about some of them. But one of them is that, yeah, we should be very excited and proud about our technique, confident in our technique. But you know what the challenge of my generation years ago and the generations before? If we didn't get a result, then the patient left thinking, oh my God, I tried a chiropractor and chiropractic didn't work, and then they start taking drugs. Instead of trying another type of chiropractor, another type of care, another type of technique. We need to grow up and mature and understand, in my humble opinion, that our diversity in technique and with our solid philosophical principles, our vitalistic principles, that our diversity in technique is our greatest strength. We are one of the only professions that doesn't refer to each other. Medics refer to other medics. Lawyers refer to other lawyers. And watch this, 1.1 million medical doctors, 1.1 million lawyers. Lord knows we don't need any more lawyers. And we have 60,000 chiropractors or whatever the number is. Come on, we need more chiropractors out in the world, expressing the diversity of our techniques with the philosophical grounding, the vitalistical principles that are being taught at Life University as the leader of that, and taking our message to the people. Come on, I imagine a world where people are lining up for chiropractic care the way they used to line up for shots and drugs. You know another thing that really motivates me with our vision of lifetime care for everyone, transforming health and longevity consciousness worldwide with our work? Is I think about this at this politically charged time. This makes me crazy. Could you imagine if 20% or a third of the people that we have seen as new patients in our offices over the last 30 years, I've been in practice 34 years, if we took all of our people who've been in practice over 30 years, if 20% to a third of those people were still under care, utilizing chiropractic care the way that you do, the way your family does, if only a small percentage were utilizing chiropractic care as a part of a lifestyle, the way that you do, the way that I do you know that we would win every election? This is not about a practice management strategy, although it's amazing for your business. It's about a foundation for social change. Do you know, people love us and leave us. They love us and leave us. It's not like they hate us and leave us. They love us and leave us. There's something wrong there. We need to make some changes. You know, we're a very personal development focused profession, and we should be. So watch, every single one of us should be working on ourselves to be the best version of ourselves that we could possibly be. And at the same time, we need to think much, 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 much bigger than our own personality and ourselves. You think about how much we spend on personal development. I saw something one day, it changed my life forever. In one of my travels, I'm going through the airport and I see a sign. It says, flu shots, $25 in the airport. Now, usually I'm the kind of person that would break up a party like that. There was a line. There was a line. There was a line of people for a $25 flu shot in the airport. And then I looked over at the person delivering the flu shot, and I thought to myself, are you kidding me? This person couldn't even get a job in a gas station. Imagine the lowest level educated employee that you could find to run an amazing business model that would get people to line up for a service or a care that was based on lies and deceit and false research. And they had a line with an employee that has done a grand total of minus 5,000 personal development courses. And they had a line. We have to change how we do things so that we create lines in spite of you, in spite of me. You have a bad day, there should be lines. Your hair falls out one day, you have a line. You stub your toe, there's still a line. People lining up for care, bigger than you. And you know what will happen? The super duper mega personal development people will have 100 offices, 1,000 offices. And everybody else in our profession will have great jobs. Come on, we have got to get to the people. And imagine your life without chiropractic care. I think about this. What if we took away every adjustment you've ever had in your lifetime? For those of you that have been around a while, would your life be any different today if we took away all those adjustments? How many of you, your life would be different? Just curious. Better or worse? So watch. You don't get on this bandwagon here, that we're doing at LifeVision and Life University, and you don't really seriously commit to sending students, building this profession, be a part of the President's Circle, all of those things that I do myself. I would never ask you to do anything that I wouldn't do for myself or my family wouldn't do. You need to be doing that. And if you're not willing to step up your game, then watch, here's the challenge. You will not and cannot receive another chiropractic adjustment for yourself or your children until you step up to the plate. I was talking to my friend John Webster. He's very involved politically at GCA. And he was saying, we were talking about this. Do you know when PTs have a bill, 1,000, 100 people, PTs show up? You know when chiropractors have a bill on the table, maybe one shows up? Come on, if you don't care, and I know I'm preaching to the choir here because you're still here, but come on, we have to step up to the game in a world. We have a world that is in desperate need of new healthcare leadership. You know, I got my first adjustment from Ernie Landy, Spring Valley, New York, 45 years ago. Changed my life forever, my mentor. He saw over 2,000 patient visits a week for 30 years. And then he slowed way down for the last 20 years to about 800. I said, Ernie, what's going on? He said, why's your volume down? He says, Eric, all my people, they've been here for 30, 40, 50, 60 years. They're 70, 80, 90 years old. They're passing away. They've been under care all this time. Quality of life, amazing. This is a guy that in his 79, almost 80 years of life probably worked the equivalent of 300 chiropractic work years. Changed my life forever. You know, he's the reason, you know, the things I do for Life Leadership Weekend and Life University, standing on that platform, that is such an honor because of people like you that send the people that you love and care for to Life University for a Life Leadership Weekend. These people that you're sending because you want to build this profession, you want to change their lives. And this team of Life Force doctors, which if by now you're all not Life Force doctors, come on, we want you on that team. And they come down here and I watch them change. And I often tell the people that are working there and the doctors that are coming over and over again, I say, listen, at some point, you got to come around and see my view. When I tell these stories about the babies and the kids and the families that were my patients, the athletes that won championships and that were injured, and the genetically modified people who came alive as a result of the chiropractic care and the generations of people that we've taken care of over the years. And I would love for you to see their faces when I tell the story of Max and when I tell the story of my son's accident, Jacob. And something happened yesterday, last night, that has never happened before at Life Leadership Weekend. I gave this talk, poured my heart and soul like I always did, because I know how you pour your heart and soul. And I always want to honor your heart and soul as a chiropractor. And I'm pouring it out. It's over. There's always a line. People are coming up. They're giving me a hug. They're saying thank you. They want to take pictures. And so last night, the line keeps coming. I'm giving hugs, take a picture, hug, take a picture, hug. And then this kid stops right in front of me, looks at me in the eyes, and says to me something that had never happened before. He said, "Dr. Plasker, thank you for that great presentation. I just wanted you to know that I am here because my chiropractor, your son, Dr. Jacob Plasker in Oregon, saved me. I was in a bad car accident, and I started to lose my memory. I started to lose my speech. And I was referred to him by another chiropractor. I was having real bad migraines, and he took care of me, and he saved me. And I decided as a result of that I wanted to be a chiropractor. And he told me to come to Life University, to come to Life Leadership Weekend. And I had no idea that this was going to happen. And this kid comes up to me and tells me this story, complete surprise. I'm not a speechless person normally. I had no idea what to say. So the next thing that came out of my mouth was this: "There's his mother, go tell her." Because Lisa has been to every Life Leadership Weekend also the last 34 years. We have raised a chiropractic family. I can't imagine a world where we don't have the opportunity to raise our families with these values. Dr. Riekman talked at lunch about our values. Our values is what helps us, it makes us stand out. It's a value system that is just filled with character and integrity and standing for humanity in ways that are so important for this planet and for communities everywhere. And I think about Ernie, who valued sending people to chiropractors. Dr. Riekman talks about him often because he would always say, I think he was one of the original people that said, "Hey, you ought to be a chiropractor. Hey, you ought to be a chiropractor." Sent so many people to chiropractors. And then here, these children that I was honored to adjust, born with severe spastic torticollis, hadn't gone to the bathroom in 7 days. And I loved the opportunity to adjust this beautiful baby, which happens to be Ernie Landy's grandchildren. Full circle moment. I'll never forget the text message that I got from Eric Landy, who's also a chiropractor. And he says to me after this adjustment, he says, "Remember, the kids hadn't had a bowel movement in 7 days." He sends me a text message the next day. "Holy crap, Dr. Plasker, no kidding." Because of what was in their diaper the next day. You know, with time, we talked about time, so many full circle moment opportunities that we have if you just stay true and don't be a cool chaser and stay true to our values. From day number 1, the blueprint is clear. Healthy and strong through your 100th year. The first generation that's acutely aware that your choices mean more than the genes that you share. Take care of your body, your mind, and your spine. Make healthy choices that keep you in line. You've got to have nerve to adjust to it all. Your 100 is coming. You make the call. You make the call. We have a potential that is way beyond what you and I think about normally. You know, we have a 100-100 movement going now where it's 100% for 100 years. That's the goal. 100% for 100 years. You know what? It sure beats 87% for 73 years, or 74% for 81 years, or 67% for 72 years, doesn't it? Why not 100% for 100 years? I mean, to me, that's what the chiropractic lifestyle, what the 100-year lifestyle represents in the world. Human potential throughout every phase of life, functioning at your highest level for a lifetime. The challenge is, and I love this quote from Stephen Covey, who wrote the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I love this. He said, most people spend their whole lives climbing the ladder of success, only to realize when they get to the top that the ladder was leaning against the wrong wall. We have an entire healthcare system with a ladder that is leaning against the wrong wall. We're just hunks of meat. We don't have the ability to build immunity on our own. We need 72 shots. We need opioids. We need drugs. We need chemicals. And it's a machine which requires us, if we care about the world, to think differently about how we go about who we are, what we do, how we take care of business, how we think about our profession, how involved we are in our profession. Do you know, you think about this for a minute. The institution of medicine is alive today, in my opinion, only because of the institution of medicine. Because it's based on faulty science, fake news, killing, third leading cause of death. And the only reason it is alive today is because of the strength of its institution. Chiropractic is alive today because of our truth. Because our institution is completely dysfunctional. Which is why Life University, in my opinion, is the single most important institution in this profession. I think about our research department with Dr. Stephanie Sullivan, who always does an amazing job. We're doing a research project with them. Some of you are already signed on for it. It's a lifetime care research project. Those of you that have already signed on for it, we need you to interview and survey more people. We've got to hit a goal really quickly. If you want to talk about this, I don't have all the details with me. You can see Stephanie. You can see me afterwards. We'll get you hooked up with it because we're trying to hit a goal of numbers of surveys so that we can get it published. It's the first draft of it has already been published in a couple of places or been presented. We want a bigger representation of it, and it's all about the benefits of lifetime chiropractic care. Come on, if it's good enough for you, isn't it good enough for everybody else? At least as an option. You know, I say our world is in desperate need of new healthcare leadership. You see this everywhere where these drugs are causing all kinds of problems. These are indications of the ladder leaning against the wrong wall. My cousin had a heart attack at the age of 50. They said it was stress. He had been stressed for a long time. One day he had a heart attack. They couldn't figure it out. Finally, like 5 years later, they were going back to his history, and the day before his heart attack, for the first time in his life, he took Celebrex, which causes heart attacks. And it wasn't reported that way. So watch, as the third leading cause of death and causing all kinds of problems, severely underreported. And now we're finding out, talk about ladder leaning against the wrong wall. They just removed all these blood pressure drugs from the market. Why? This is absurd. Because they're laced with carcinogens. You wonder why heart disease and cancer stay number 1 and number 2. Could it be? I don't know, maybe I'm just a conspiracy theorist. Come on, maybe, just maybe, they're lacing blood pressure drugs with carcinogens. Now, come on, that would be too crazy to even think that way. And then they're pulling them off the market because of that. It's been discovered. Come on, we need leadership. Hey, staple in our society, baby aspirin. Take a baby aspirin. You have a heart? Take a baby aspirin. Why? Because you have a heart. You want it to be healthy, right? Take baby aspirin. It's good for your heart. It'll prevent heart attacks. No research. Now they find out. All of a sudden it comes out. Hey, no, don't do that anymore. It can hurt you. It can kill you. It could cause bleeding. Don't do that anymore. Here's the thing. That was like on the 8th page of the newspapers. 90% of the people that have been taking baby aspirin for the last 20 years are going to continue to take it because they don't even know. And watch. Don't you think that's a part of the other side strategy? Oh, they came clean. It's just that nobody knows about it because they're not advertising that on every news channel 1,000 different times. And then this one really bugs me because Lipitor, thief of memory, Lipitor killed my father. My father had a heart attack at 49, changed his life, changed his diet, lost 30 pounds, started running. But you know what? He never ran to save his life or to enjoy the wind in his face or being outside. You know why my father started running? He started running to not die. He got scared. Started taking Lipitor. So guess what? At the age of 78, he died in a home after not knowing his family for 10 years with a healthy heart and no brain because he was afraid to not die and took this thief of memory, Lipitor, for decades. Come on, people are living longer than ever, but they're not living better than ever the way they should be. They're not living 100% for 100 years like we talk about in the 100-year lifestyle. They're living, my dad lived, at 10% for the last decade of his life. There's a lot of money in creating and keeping alive a neurologically damaged society. There's a lot of money in that. I'm telling you, my colleagues, our world needs new leadership. The Sacklers with the opioid crisis, do you know what's really, which we're going to write articles, the 100-Year Lifestyle became an online magazine. It's open to the public for free. We're on target for 1.5 million views in the first year. How cool is that? It's way cool. It's way cool. And we're just getting started. We're just figuring it out. We built new technology. We've got all kinds of cool things coming. But watch, here's the thing, and we're going to write about it. We're going to tell these stories. The Sacklers who started the opioid crisis through Purdue Pharmaceuticals, they're going to be the scapegoat. They're going to make them the scapegoat and so make them the evil people that you won't hear about anything else evil. It's going to be the news that's the real news that's going to cover up and make all the other really important issues almost non-existent. And we cannot let that happen. We have got to get to the people. Big time. I have another poem for you. I never knew how much I loved writing poetry until I knew what a difference it could make. This is a new one that just came out. It goes like this. It takes nerve to grow. It takes nerve to thrive. It takes nerve to live your life fully alive. It takes nerve to discover. It takes nerve to excel. It takes nerve to empower yourself out of hell. Time will keep ticking. It's on your best side. It takes nerve to conquer this great divide. Do you know how many families, because of opioids and all these other things that we have talked about, do you know how many, the vaccine injured and damaged, that are living in hell? People ask me why I'm so motivated. I know what it's like as a parent. When my son had his accident, when he was a baby, I was 27. I was not prepared for that. I was not mature enough for that. I was not prepared for that, and I never asked for it. I promise you, the things in life that you don't ask for, that you have to stand up for, are the things that are going to make you who you are as a person. I'm probably one of the very few chiropractors that is working today that was threatened to be thrown in jail for giving adjustments. Because in the pediatric intensive care unit of Scottish Rite Children's Hospital, when I went to adjust my son, who was laying there paralyzed, they were threatening to throw me in jail. Things like that happen, they change you. They change you. And some people say, but, Dr. Plasker, I never had that situation where that there was a baby that was paralyzed and I adjusted them and they came back to life because of the adjustment. I never had that happen, so I don't know if I could believe in that. Oh, come on. Get over yourself. What do you want to do? You want to go pick up a baby, shake them, hold them by the head, shake them until they're paralyzed, and then adjust them to see if they come back? Come on, we just have to start to have faith in what we're doing at such a very high level and go to work as a team, unified as a family. We live in it's the most dangerous place to have a baby, the United States. It's the most dangerous place to give birth in the developed world. We need new leadership. Stephen Covey also said that if the ladder is not leaning against the right wall, every step we take just gets us to the wrong place faster. And you think about how the accelerator pedal on mandating vaccination and the accelerator pedal on trying to take our scope away from us and all these types of, in all states in play. I was just called to go to Texas because of what's happening in the bill over the year. I was called to go to Florida a few years ago to handle some things down there and to move some chiropractors to action because of what was going on in Florida. And it started to come back the other way in so many different places. California that I went to 10 years ago for 4 years in a row, 5 years in a row. Because of the changes that need to be made, because we're taking so many steps in the wrong direction, that it's almost impossible for that medical monopoly to come back. And watch, people say, well, why won't they just accept us, Dr. Plasker? Come on, can't we just get acceptance? Do you know why they won't accept us? They will never accept us. Here's the bottom line why. So give it up, let it go. Especially as it relates to pediatrics. I have 3 children. They're no longer children. They're all chiropractors. Jacob's 29, Emily's 27, Corey's 26. In all of their years, from age brand new baby, and they were born at home, never had a shot. And in all those years of childhood and adolescence, they probably had a combined 4 pediatric visits. That, my colleagues, is why we will never be accepted. And who needs that? Now, do we need to learn how to play nicely? Do we need to learn how to play politically? Do we need to learn how to fight? Do we need to come together as an institution, as an organized institution? Absolutely, we need to do that. How many of you remember Blockbuster? Yeah, so Blockbuster, they used to rent movies. You used to go be able to, hey, I wonder if they have the movie I want to rent. And you'd go in and you'd get a movie. And then you'd have to return it in 2 days, and if you were late, you paid a late fee. And here's why this is important. How many of you ever heard the expression, man, hey, if you were the last chiropractor on earth, would chiropractic survive? Raise your hand if you've ever heard that expression. Yeah, so watch. That has been such a core part of our DNA, acting that way, thinking that way. I believe on some level it scares me that that's a self-fulfilling prophecy. See, we live in an age where we have licensure. Yet we still fight like we're the underdogs. Watch, I believe in my heart and soul that we are the favorites. Come on, if we weren't the favorite, if we weren't relevant, they'd leave us alone. We got to go to work, or we will become that self-fulfilling prophecy, last chiropractor on earth. We need to change our conversation. We need to go on offense, get to the people, line them up for care, have a message that speaks to them so that they want it for themselves. And if you tried to take it away from them, they would fight you for it. That's the kind of marketing, education. You know, we see chiropractors teaching people about the 100-year lifestyle. You know how long the report of findings is? For some of them that are really doing it, there is none. It's an outdated procedure. You know why? Because today, people come into your office already decided about what they want. They have checked it out. They know what they want. And they're probably wrong because they got their information from the crap box. But if you're providing information that is about this bigger vision lifestyle, they want it for themselves and they will fight for it. And they will keep going until they find it. And you can't take it away. My brother, Noel, is a chiropractor in New Jersey. He said, you know what? I had a new patient the other day. He said, I've been reading all of your information, and I don't really know why I'm here. I mean, I kind of do, but I'm not really sure. But I just know my health is going in the wrong direction, and I just know that I need to do this. Well, what research changed you? Well, I don't know. I don't remember. Well, did you read any? Yeah, I just don't remember. Well, why do you want it? Well, grandma's 85. I'm 50. I got 35 more years. At the rate I'm going, they'll be lousy years. I want great years. I want to raise my kids so that they're living healthy. I don't want, we have a world where we have children that have become a burden because of their neurological damage, and seniors that have become a burden because of their neurological damage. There's never been a better time to be a chiropractor. Because number one, all those people need our care. And number two, we have the answer to prevent all of that and optimize people's function for a lifetime. The debates are over. Not really, they're over. They're not over politically, but in the world, we just got to get to the people. My colleagues, seriously, this has been an amazing weekend. It's been life-changing for me, mostly because of all of you. I'm so proud to be a part of Life University because of what it's done for me, what it's meant for my family. And I get the opportunity, I see my friend Steve there, coming from the other side of the country, part of the Rubicon, working together from Life West over there, hanging out here at Life University this weekend, the not-so-little university that's changing the world. Come on, you're a part of that. We need to be a part of that bigger, faster, stronger, because our world is in desperate need of new healthcare leadership. I'll leave you with one final quote from B.J. Palmer. See, B.J. Palmer left us a lot of quotes. This one really stuck with me. B.J. said, get the big idea and... all else follows. Yeah, he said, get the big idea and all else follows. Except for one thing. He left one thing out, and with all due respect to B.J. What B.J. forgot to tell us is that all else requires work. My colleagues, brothers, sisters, it's time to go to work. Love and appreciate you so much. Thank you for being at LifeVision.